After a nearly 20-year absence from the big screen, Shaft returns to theaters. This time, he's got a son. So let's talk about it. When one of Shaft's son's friends dies under mysterious circumstances, he goes to his father to help discover what really happened. So I had a pretty good time with the first Shaft movie starring Samuel L. Jackson, and a lot of people forget that Christian Bale was actually the villain in that film. So when they announced that we were going to get another Shaft movie starring Samuel L. Jackson, I was intrigued. Then the trailers dropped and I was a little bit confused because they were so comedic in tone. So what did I think about the movie? I'll tell you in just a second. Be sure to share your thoughts down below in the comment section. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you seen the previous Shaft movies? Are you new to the franchise? Share your thoughts down below. With that said, let's get started talking about the good. And easily the best thing about this movie is Samuel L. Jackson. He's got his swagger sliders pushed all the way up to 11. This is the full Samuel L. Jackson doing his thing, mouthy, wisecracking, all of it on full display, and it's just a lot of fun. From there, the movie just in general is very high energy. It doesn't slow down. It's always throwing jokes. There's always an action sequence. There's always a little chase. There's something there to keep your mind engaged. And then just the central premise of taking this aging, street smart, womanizing, throwback action star type hero and pairing him up with his son, who is a very conscientious, woke millennial. There's just a lot of generational humor and mismatch going on there that can be a lot of fun to watch. Speaking of generations, Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft from the 70s, gets to have a pretty significant part in this film. He's not like a major star throughout the film, but when he shows up, he has a lot more to do in this film than he did in the first Samuel L. Jackson film. So it's just fun to see 3 generations of Shaft in action on screen. And speaking of the action, this is a throwback 70s, 80s, 90s style action movie. When people get shot, blood sprays out of their chest. Our heroes torture people at certain points in time. The ideas of how law enforcement actually work are thrown out just to have kind of shenanigans. So if you like that older style of action movies, not the modern PG-13 CGI fest, there's a lot to enjoy here. From there, let's move on to the mixed aspects of the film. And the big thing that comes to mind here is that keeping with it being a throwback action movie with Samuel L. Jackson being this throwback action movie leading star, it is politically wildly incorrect. It is crass, and it is proud of the fact that it's kind of doing that. It's part of the sense of humor to it is that we know that Samuel L. Jackson is behaving poorly and saying things you're not supposed to say in the year 2019, and so we're getting a kick out of it. Some people will watch that and be wildly offended, and some people will appreciate watching something that feels like the way action movies used to be, but this is not a movie for everyone. A lot of people will be offended by a whole bunch of things inside of this film, and a bunch of other people will appreciate getting inappropriate humor in movies again. From there, let's move on to the bad. The big one that comes to mind is that, you know, it's just a standard formula throwback action movie. There's nothing new in the nature of the story. There's nothing new in the dynamic between father and son, the type of journey. It's very traditional, the trope of taking the street smart guy with the book smart guy. It's that thing that we've seen before. The basic plot line about what they're trying to uncover about the murder mystery. They're not doing anything new with it. The character arcs, the tropes, the red herrings, all of it is stuff that you've seen before. It's very much just kind of a generic movie like this, just released in the year 2019, which changes up the humor a little bit. And speaking of the humor, as I mentioned when I first saw the trailer, kind of threw me off what they were doing with this. This movie goes so far into the humor and letting Samuel Jackson off the leash, doing his thing and cracking jokes, that it's tonally wildly inconsistent with the previous 4 Shaft films. I mean, it feels old. It's like right at the line of self-parody, but it's not really self-parody. It's taking it as a continuation of the previous films. These are the characters we saw in the previous films, and they're just cranking up the humor in a way that feels very out of place for everything that's come before. It made me laugh at times. Some of it worked, some of it didn't work, but it definitely pushed it way too far, and it's at a very weird place of, is it parody or is it not? It doesn't seem like it knows what it's trying to be, and that's a little bit of a problem. in the end, this is a movie that's for a very specific type of person that likes throwback action movies. I like throwback action movies, so I had fun with it. It did make me laugh. I do enjoy seeing Samuel L. Jackson cranked up to 11. A lot of people aren't gonna like it, and it's not like it's the most memorable movie ever made. It's a B- overall. It's a 6.5 on the entertainment scale, and if you're interested in it, you could probably just wait for Redbox, and you'd have a good time watching it at home. If you enjoyed this video, check out that video right over there for a little bit more of my content. Share your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and keep talking movies too much.